Good afternoon. I'm Turney Stevens. I'm the Dean of the College of Business here at Lipscomb, and we're delighted to welcome you today. I hate to break up the fellowship, but you know how we are in college, so unless you want me to take away from your class participation grade, you got to get serious now, and we got to get on with the program. So thank you all for settling in. We're just so honored today to have Deanna Smith here on our campus. What a great honor, as the fall recipient of our Heroes of Business Award. Deanna, welcome to Lipscomb and congratulations, and we'll award that in just a moment officially, but thank you for being here. For all of our guests, we're thankful to have you today. I know we've got a lot of friends from HCA. We particularly appreciate that. We're just thrilled to death to have you today. I am delighted to welcome Dr. Matt Payton to the stage. Matt, come up while I'm speaking here. Randy Lowry, our president, was called into another meeting here just a moment ago. Matt is special assistant to the president, and I think we'll give some greetings to welcome everyone to the campus. So, Matt Payton.
On behalf of Dr. Lowry and the President's office here at Lipscomb University, do appreciate you being here. We are so grateful to have this opportunity to honor such a fantastic leader. I've had the opportunity this morning to listen to Deanna speak a couple of times to both our leadership team and to our students in the business chapel format, and just a great example of what it means to be a leader in all sense of the word, and to do it in such an important role and in such an important institution. We're so grateful to have you here today. We're so grateful to have each of you on our campus. Lipscomb is a place that gets the opportunity to have about 200,000 guests a year on the campus. Dr. Lowry would want you to know that, and that's a huge number. And part of the reason that we're so excited to have so many guests is because the focus, so much of the focus that Lipscomb and Dr. Lowry and the faculty and staff and the students here have put over the last several years have put into the idea that you have to serve the community well before you can sell to the community. People have to know and trust you and feel like this is a place that there's great value. And so opportunities like today to where we can bring someone in and honor them is just another example of how we love the partnership with the community, and in this case, especially with HCA and with the Sarah Cannon Institute. And so we're just so grateful for you being here. We're grateful for all of our guests. I know we have many here who come into contact with Lipscomb in a variety of ways, and we're just grateful for your presence. We hope that your lunch is a great experience. We hope that you will come back to our campus and find a number of avenues to get involved. And if there's ever ways that we can be involved with you or your organization, please do not hesitate to call on any of us, as we would love to engage you as we continue to try to be a vital and contributive part of the Nashville community. So we thank you for being here. We thank you. I do send regrets from Dr. Lowry, who was on his way here and something came up, as tends to happen on a college campus, and he regrets to not be here today. But we do really, really appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Thank you.
Before we have an invocation, I would also like to recognize our co-sponsor for this event. Evolve Women is a new organization here in Nashville serving the needs of women executives, and the CEO of Evolve Women is here today, Connie McGee. Would you join me in welcoming Connie and thanking them for sponsoring this event? Thank you, Connie. Thank you for your support. We appreciate that partnership. And now I'd like to welcome to the podium Bart Little, who is an HCA alum. Bart, wherever you are in the room, please come up. Bart Little has joined our faculty. He is a... We'll do better with you than we did with Matt in just a minute. Bart has joined our faculty. He is leading our healthcare management programs. We have so many interactions with healthcare sciences and healthcare management and health informatics and information security. We're just delighted to be growing our academic programs in partnership with the Nashville healthcare community. So will you join me in welcoming Bart to the platform, and thank you for leading our invocation. Now, please enjoy lunch, and we'll look forward to presenting this award to Deanna after lunch. Thanks. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed lunch. Our musical accompaniment today was David Anderson from the Nashville music community. David, welcome to campus. We are delighted to have each of you on the campus today. I know we've got a lot of friends from HCA. If you're HCA, either past or present, raise your hand if you don't mind. Let's just see how many HCA people we got. How about that? Great, welcome. HCA is the largest provider of healthcare services in the world, based right here in Nashville, Tennessee. And what a great honor it is to have Deanna here today as a representative of HCA. We're just thrilled. Before I bring Deanna up and give her this award, we need to recognize the spouse, right? Now, what we normally do, Deanna, is we normally give the spouse a dozen roses. But we decided in this case that Hubie might appreciate something really nice from Tiffany's instead. So Hubie, welcome back to the campus and welcome here today. And join me in welcoming Hubie Smith. Hopefully that'll be just as good as a dozen roses and last a lot longer. So it's hard to put into words how important it is to do what Deanna does every day. What a great example for all of us as business executives, because she is the true embodiment of a servant leader. Bart mentioned in his prayer that cancer stinks, and it really does, doesn't it, Deanna? 1 in 2 of the males in this room will either be diagnosed with cancer or have been diagnosed with cancer in your lifetime, or perhaps die of cancer. 1 in 3 of the females in this room will encounter the same diagnosis. The good news is that there are 10 million living cancer survivors in the United States today. The bad news is that cancer is growing at a CAGR, a compound annual growth rate, of 7.5% a year, and 1.6 million people will be diagnosed with cancer in the United States this year alone. And I won't keep giving you all these statistics, but one more that I think will really surprise you. Within the next 4 years, cancer will become the #1 killer in the United States, surpassing heart disease. So what the Sarah Cannon Research Institute does, and what HCA does through the Sarah Cannon Research Institute, is really, really important. As the Chief Executive Officer of Sarah Cannon, Deanna directs a business that generates about $4 billion a year in revenues in one way or another for HCA, which is an absolutely remarkable statistic. I'm sure she'll tell you more about the business and her role in the business in her presentation today. But it is such a blessing, Deanna, let me say to you as well as all of your colleagues at HCA, to have HCA in this community. And thank you for what all of you do to make this a better place and to make the world a better place each day. About 4 years ago, we were hearing from our students, at least our business students, that they were so reluctant to major in business. They knew intellectually how important it was to get the technical skills like Deanna did when she majored in accounting. And we've got arguably the premier accounting program in the state of Tennessee. They understand the academic and intellectual value, but the problem is that these 20-year-olds have lived their entire lifetimes reading nothing but bad headlines about business. Time after time after time, we've let them down because so many people who led so many businesses have cheated and committed frauds and done all kinds of bad things in so many ways. And the more I heard that, the more I really struggled with a way to address that, because I knew that wasn't necessarily true. And I certainly knew that wasn't true here in Nashville. After 35 years of my own business experience and career, I knew far, far more humble servant leaders in business than I did people who had cheated or lied. And so we came up with the idea of creating a Heroes of Business Award. Now, awards are easy to give. Everybody loves to get them. But this one is really important because what it enables us to do 2 or 3 times a year is to bring people like Deanna to the campus and allow our students to see in her that it's possible not only to achieve enormous success, the sort of success that everybody in business strives to achieve financially and all the metrics, but it's also possible to do that and to serve, to be honest, to be humble, and to be an example for those coming behind us. And so that's the history of the Heroes of Business Award. Deanna, you follow some very outstanding business people. The immediate predecessor for this award last spring was Jim Griffith, who's the CEO of the Timken Company in Akron, Ohio, Christian leader, runs a $5 billion global corporation. Just prior to Jim Griffith, we presented the award to R.A. Dickey, who at that time had just won the Cy Young Award the day before he received the award. People might say, wait a minute, I thought it was a Heroes of Business Award, not a Heroes of Baseball Award. I reminded people to look at that contract he had just signed just a few days before that. So we've had quite a string of outstanding people, and you're the next in that line, and we're just honored and delighted today not only to introduce you to this audience, but to thank you for a lifetime of service and to congratulate you as a hero of business. Would you welcome Deanna Smith?
Wow. So you guys, I had to change my whole joke set because my bosses are here. Okay? So it's kind of like I didn't get to have lunch and, I'm going to eat later. Am I doing okay on the mic? I'll eat later, right? Because I had to think of my whole new shtick. The first thing I need to tell you that Dean Davis has promised that he's going to cover for me. So I'm on the Lipscomb Board of Pharmacy. I didn't graduate from Lipscomb. I graduated from Pepperdine. But I'm on Lipscomb Board of Visitors for the pharmacy school, and I love Dean Davis. He's one of the most wonderful men that you'll ever know. But I actually have a W on my transcript for chemistry. Okay, withdrawal, right? Freshman year. So we're going to be okay with that, right? I'm going to get you a copy of that. He tried to get my transcript, but they wouldn't give it to him. So that's good. I have to tell you something that is kind of funny. I am, interestingly, and really I hadn't thought about this until Skip, Dr. Burris, who's with us, reminded me that I think I'm the only, make sure this is true, I think I'm the only female, well, most importantly, non-physician leader of a cancer company, and then so certainly the only female leader of a cancer company, which is sort of cool for me. To be able to do that, and I was speaking to the students in chapel. That was absolutely the most fun part of this day. Not that this isn't fun, but we were talking about how's a bean counter. I mean, I'm an accounting major, right? Like, how am I hanging in those conversations with the cancer leaders across the country? And it's not easy, right? So when we start talking about the genetic alterations of certain things, I'm like, hey, Skip, what's this answer? Hurry up, give me a text. But I am really, really honored to be able to do that, and honored that HCA and the leaders who are here have given me the trust to do that. Okay, so here's the knock on me. Becca, I have 3 children. Adam Smith, who graduated from Lipscomb, has several degrees from Lipscomb, and I told the chapel group that he's working to operationalize his degrees right now. So we're working on that. It's good. It's good. And then I have Rachel, who is 20, and she's at Pepperdine in accounting. And then Becca, who is 16, and she's at Innsworth. And Bruce, Moore, my boss over there, he knows Becca really, really well, and he says she's probably the best part of me. But she said to me 2 days ago, she goes, Mom, I saw this bumper sticker, and it was awesome. And I'm thinking, something inspirational, Christian-like. And it said, women who behave rarely make history. Okay? And I thought of you, Mom. I was like, okay, well, I know I'm a working mom. This is a failure moment, okay? So in 0.1 seconds, every failure as a mother flashed before my eyes, right? I was like, okay, she thinks I behaved badly and I've screwed up her life and she's never going to make it and all that. And then she, quickly followed that on with, Mom, like Rosa Parks. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can go for that. So I'll start that out, and that will give you can all speak to Bruce afterwards and give him your sympathies for having to manage me on a day-to-day basis. But I am really, really thrilled to be here. I started the day with President Lowry's leadership team, and that was really fun about really transformation. And you see a lot of transformation on the Lipscomb campus and Lipscomb's reputation in the community, and I think that's incredible. But I will tell you one thing about Lipscomb that I remember in the face of all the beautiful buildings and all the cool things that we do, including that the golf team, by the way, this class, and I did validate that it's true. This guy's he's a golf pro. But the class, the incoming class is the #1 class for golf based upon performance, not by reputation. So Lipscomb has the #1 men's golf class coming in based upon performance. So that's really cool, right? You're loving that because they practice with you. But anyway, when you think about all the things that you see here, there's one thing that I think about Lipscomb, I never forget it. When the flood happened here in Nashville, Lipscomb opened their doors to the people in the community that needed it, right? So it wasn't a closed door kind of gig. Wow, hope that works out for you. It was come here, come to Lipscomb, and we'll take care of you. So I'm really, for those of you who are on the board, I'll never forget that happened. It's really stuck with me when you think about impact that I think is so remarkable. So what I'd love to do, if you guys can tolerate a few minutes, and this group of my teammates at Sarah Cannon have heard this shtick so many times. If they fall out of their chair, somebody help them out. But this is what we're doing is really, it's near and dear to my heart. I'm super passionate that I get to come to work today and I have the best job within the HCA system, just to be perfectly candid, because it's just such a remarkable company, and they have given us the trust to lead on the cancer service line. So we talked about a bit, Turney, you talked about the Research Institute, and at the Research Institute, there's not been a drug approved for cancer care in the last 5 years that we've not had a strategic role on. So we sort of started this whole journey around what world-class cancer care is, and we know that's embedded in clinical research. So again, I'm going to act like you don't know anything about this, and you probably do. But when drugs are approved, they go through a whole series of testing. Starts in the lab, moves through animal testing to human testing, and that's how we know a drug is safe and effective. Well, the day that you hear, I think you have cancer, you do have cancer, scariest day of your life, never the same. And one of the first things you think about is what's available to prolong my life. And so that's where Sarah Cannon started. We started in the business of drug development, advancing therapies for patients, and HCA trusted those initiatives enough to give us the leadership around the entire cancer service line. So I want to share that with you today through a couple of slides. Before I go to the vision, I got to ask you a question, trivia. I'm not going to get this right, so you just need to get okay with it. Who's missed more last-second shots than anybody else in NBA history? Okay, everybody knows, whatever. He also has made more last-second shots, right? And then everybody's going to know this too, and you can't answer because you're the golfer, is who has gotten second place in more majors and PGA majors than anybody else?
Billy.
Who? Jack Nicklaus, right? But he's also won his fair share as well. Well, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to win more than we lose in cancer care. Our tagline is advancing science and transforming care. And if you guys will tolerate it, I want to read you the vision that we are really beginning to operationalize within the HCA system. People who live with cancer, those who work to prevent it, fight it, and survive it, are at the heart of every decision we make. Bringing the most innovative medical minds together with the most passionate caregivers in their communities, we're transforming care and personalizing treatment. Through clinical excellence and cutting-edge research, Sarah Cannon is redefining cancer care around the world. Pretty audacious vision, right? That's a big deal for us. We at Sarah Cannon, as the service line of HCA and HCA's leadership, hey guys, we're winning this. So we're going to miss some last-second shots, but we're going to win more than we lose. So this is my leadership team, and I put this slide here, particularly many are here today, to let you guys know in chapel, in the business chapel, the guys were like, wow, she withdrew from chemistry. How in the world is she leading a cancer gig? And this is why, but the most important thing is that the people on the screen are a lot smarter than I am. So you think I'm kidding? Really, really not. I'm taking a test, and that group taking a test, they're winning every time. So I think part of the key for me, being a non-physician leader of a cancer group, is that the people that I work with every day just absolutely wins hands down. So for those of you who are here on my team, thank you every day for what you do for me as a leader at Sarah Cannon. So a lot of cancer questions being asked. So Turney talked about the statistics, and like I have a whole slide on that, so that's great. We're going to save time. But 1 out of 2 men, 1 out of 3 women. There are a lot of questions the day that happens in your life or in the life of somebody else. Recently, actually September 10th, 2013, the Institute of Medicine came out and talked about cancer and said, hey guys, we got a crisis in cancer. Guess what? We got a supply and demand problem, right? With the therapies that are out there, people are living longer. So in 2020, there'll be 20 million cancer survivors. 2030, 30 million cancer survivors. So like HCA and the gang, they're like, wow, the prevalence of cancer, people are dying of other things. They're surviving their cancer, but they're dying of other things. Well, we got a supply and demand problem, and we've got a quality care problem in the community. 10,000 medical oncologists, remember they're like your care quarterback when you have cancer. 85% of those guys are in the community, right? That's where it's happening. That's where the living and dying is happening. 1 to 2% of the people are going to go to MD Anderson. They're going to go to Memorial. They're going to go to those places. Let them go, right? We're focused on how do we take care of cancer patients that we serve every day in the communities where they live, because it's important to be at home when you're in that place in your life. So a lot going on there. I can fly through these, I think, pretty quickly because we've talked a lot about it. 1 in 20 are cancer survivors today. We talked about the medical oncologist. Personalized cancer care via molecular profiling is really the new gold standard. So you hear people talking about you need to get your tumor profiled. You hear about Angelina Jolie, who had the BRCA mutation, the BRCA gene, and the steps that she took to take care of that. But once you have cancer, what's the personality of that cancer and how do we treat it? So we'll talk about that just briefly. Within 4 years, cancer will surpass heart disease as the leading cause of death. And then patients choose their cancer care. This is an interesting slide. Cancer patient survivors account for 3% of the population and 6% of the healthcare expenditures. 46% of uninsured and 22% of insurance patients say, when I got cancer, it wiped me out. That's a big deal, right? We got to figure out something better. So when HCA, we have the Sarah Cannon Research Institute, and HCA turned around and said, wow, we got a lot of really cool cancer assets. How do we begin to take those to a whole new level? So I just want to hit a couple of those. SCRI, the Research Institute we talked about, here in Nashville, Tennessee, we've dosed on the Centennial campus 113 first-in-man compounds. So the first time a compound was dosed in a human anywhere in the world. Very first time here in Nashville. Nobody knows that, but I mean, we have. So take that. We've contributed to the approval of 30 plus commercially available drugs. As I said, there's not been a drug that's been approved in the last 5 years we've not had a strategic role on. We're recognized as a scientific leader. So we're at the table, I'm not, skip this, at the table with Memorial Sloan Kettering, MD Anderson, Moffitt. We are with the top cancer centers in the world talking about what to do for cancer care. And then we also have a significant research investment in central London and are doing amazing things there in collaboration with the University College of London. The Blood Cancer Network, so I'm going to get kind of technical, but if you have breast cancer, that's a solid tumor. If you have cancer in your blood, like leukemia, we call that blood cancer. And so stem cell transplant is a common therapy if you have certain blood cancer diseases. HCA crushes it from a blood cancer transplant perspective. They are absolutely the leading provider of transplantation services for blood cancers in the world. So MD Anderson, they put on, Skip, make sure I get the math right, they put on how many last year? I mean, they've transplanted how many patients? About 800. We'll transplant 900 patients in the HCA system. Geographically dispersed, which is so cool because you're closer to home, right? You don't have to go and stay in the Hampton Inn. So incredible opportunities. They're super proud of the academic and clinical excellence there. HCA has 74 COC accredited programs, which that's an accreditation that says you have a certain standard of quality in the system, and then radiation oncology, lots of investment in technology. A collaboration we're super proud of is with Yale. Yale is actually where chemotherapy was given for the very first time. They're rock stars from a bench research perspective. And Tom Lynch is their Cancer Center director, and you can see his quote, "Sarah Cannon's crucial to American innovation and the future of our ability to bring important medicines to patients. What Sarah Cannon has shown is a unique ability to do clinical trials right quickly and in a way that is safe and effective and brings new medicines to patients." So again, we want to continue to accelerate that reputation. So what is Sarah Cannon? So we talk about Sarah Cannon Research Institute. Sarah Cannon, you guys know who Sarah Cannon is, right? Everybody here? Raise your hand if you know. Okay. All right, so there are a few people. Minnie Pearl, comedian. She had breast cancer. She didn't die of breast cancer. She died of complications from a stroke and gave her name to these initiatives. So when you think about the power of HCA as the largest healthcare provider in the world, amazing investments in assets for care delivery, world-class physicians in the system that you actually wouldn't believe. Clearly Nashville, we have top-notch physicians, but really all over the system. And then the investments made in Sarah Cannon Research Institute. And the convergence of those is the service line Sarah Cannon that we are focusing on nationally and internationally. Really bad map projected, wow. Those are the states where HCA has hospitals and the initiatives that we have as we begin to move this across the system. All right, what's personalized medicine? Can't believe I was actually in New Haven, Connecticut, heard an ad for Vanderbilt for personalized medicine. Okay, wait, New Haven is the home of Yale, right? So what is all that about? Personalized medicine is really an overused term, but when you think about it, how do you classify individuals, as you can see, into subpopulations that really reflect what treatments will most effectively treat their tumor? So I'm going to show you a picture of a patient in just a minute who $250,000 of therapy had been given to her, and it was like pouring water on rocks because of the nature of her tumor, right? So it's getting rid of the one-size-fits-all approach and saying, how do you break down, what's your profile, and how do we match the right therapy to that patient? So I showed this at HCA board meeting not too long ago, and it is a grotesque picture, but I got to tell you, it tells the story. This is the woman that with $250,000 worth of therapy, water on rocks. Jacqueline Stone, amazing woman, 51-year-old female with a V600E mutation in melanoma. That means nothing to you, but it means something when you're applying therapy to her tumor. So she's actually in Skip's clinic, and you can see from this, she doesn't go out a lot, right? She's homebound, not going anywhere. So this is her baseline scan and pictures. She had received 6 prior treatments, and then you can begin to see in cycle 5, day 1, wow, we know she has that mutation. We're going to tailor the therapy to the type of tumor that she has. And now this is what she looks like. It's been nearly 12 years, and most stage 4 melanoma patients don't live for more than 4. I hope this is the end of the road and I get to finish my journey here with Dr. Infante. So that's what she looks like, still looks like that, absolutely fantastic. So if I were you, this is what I'd say. So why aren't we doing that with everybody? I mean, what's the big deal? Let's profile absolutely every single patient. Well, we're not in a position to do that just yet. We're working with the insurers and with HCA's finesse with the insurers and helping us get an audience there. We're working with them to say, we need for you to reimburse this test, right? This assay of profiling these tumors. We need for you to reimburse that so that we can do that on a broad scale, because they don't yet do that. We've got to prove some outcomes like Jacqueline Stone in order to be able to do that. So really excited about what the future holds there. But wow, Jacqueline Stone, one grateful lady, right? Another patient, Gigi, who we love, and by the way, we have permission from all these people to show their pictures. 20 years ago, HER2 positive breast cancer, patients lived months instead of years. Not anymore for Gigi. She was diagnosed 15 years ago, Skip's patient, relapsed 10 years ago, and after multiple chemotherapy regimens, people were like, yeah, Gigi, it's not going to work out for you. Hope you have all your affairs in order. She came to see Skip. She participated in a trial simply to help others. She's like, I'm at the end of my life. I might as well do this for the future. And she took a drug called TDM1, a smart bomb, and that's what she looks like today. On June 16th, which is when this picture was taken, she celebrated her 60th birthday with her 4-year-old granddaughter, Allie. Now I'm showing you guys the success stories, right? We know, remember the whole Michael Jordan last-second shot thing? We don't have it all figured out. But I think with the scale, with the investment, and with the scientific prowess that we've garnered at Sarah Cannon, we're in a good position. So for me, I'm so grateful for what I get to do. I'm so grateful to be able to speak to you guys today. I love Theodore Roosevelt, and there were 10 quotes that I wanted to talk about. But I talked about this, Marty, at your ITNS group, ended with this slide, and I just love it. Far and away, the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. And it chokes me up, but I absolutely am passionate about what we're doing. And I know that we can make a difference, and I know that the investments that HCA has made in what we're doing will help us accelerate that difference making. So thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Deanna, and congratulations again. Now, instead of asking him to go first, I'm going to ask Roger Davis to go last, because I think Roger, who is as well respected in the healthcare community as anybody I know, he's our Dean of the College of Health Sciences. I think Roger might like to offer just a few comments and thoughts and wrap up the program. And Roger, would you also offer a benediction to the program this morning? Thank you all for being here today. Thank you so much for your friendship with Lipscomb. And Roger, thank you for coming to the platform.
Well, Attorney to Dean Stevens and to the faculty and staff of the College of Business, thank you for allowing me just a moment to be a part of this program. You certainly picked a hero of business that was appropriate, but you picked a hero of life that is important to all of us. Deanna serves as the chairman of our advisory committee in the College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. To that position, she brings great passion, which I think you've already seen demonstrated, and you've only seen the tip of the iceberg, right, Hubie? What she has unleashed, I thought I'd give you some opportunity to respond here. What she's unleashed this morning across a series of presentations and everything is just a minuscule part of the energy and the vision that she has. Deanna is a visionary of extraordinary means who has taken her principal talents in the area of business and accounting and combined them with parts of lesser interest like chemistry and those kinds of things to create an organization with many good partners, many of whom are here today, to create a passion and a hope for individuals who often, when they receive that diagnosis, think they have no hope. And I think it takes an incredible person, first of all, an incredible leader, an incredible visionary, a passionate person, and a person with compassion to be able to do all of those things. And all of those are embodied in Deanna Smith, who I'm pleased to call my personally good friend and our colleges and our universities' good friends. So congratulations to you. If I could just tell you what impact this has just for a moment. I came here in 2007. I'm going to make this quick. 2007, thinking we were going to build a college of pharmacy and began some new efforts for this university. And that was in January of 2007. At the end of April of 2007, I'm standing in my office and I get a call from a physician friend saying, I think there's something wrong with your wife. That ultimately led to the diagnosis of primary amyloidosis, which destroyed her kidney, created the opportunity for multiple myeloma to occur, and she's now on her second round of chemo. The point I want to make is, as Deanna said, when you get that diagnosis, everything else in your life changes. God blessed us through the good prayers of people in this town and in this university. And instead of getting the 6 months that we were praying to get from April to December to have another Christmas together, here we are at I don't know, 6.5 years. 6.5 years. And just have recently started our second round of therapy in what is really a very simple regimen that we do with Tennessee Oncology in partnership with Mayo Clinic. The point being is for people who find themselves in this position, the things that Sarah Cannon Research Institute is doing, Dr. Burris and Deanna and all the team that leads SCRI, is so personally impactful to everybody's life that I want you to be impressed with what they do, who they are. I'm reminded at moments like this of a story when the Statler brothers, one of the better known musical groups to ever come out of Nashville, were having their farewell tour. They asked Jimmy Dean to come and introduce them at their farewell performance. And everybody in the auditorium, and there were thousands of people present at that final concert, thought Jimmy Dean was going to come out and just go on forever and forever about all their accomplishments, all their abilities, all their awards and everything. And he basically said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to welcome to the stage my good friends, the Statler brothers, because they are good people. And Deanna Smith, in the best of Southern vernacular, is good people. And that's why we're proud to have this relationship and this partnership. And clearly, it's very personal to all of us. Let's go to our Father in prayer.